Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravelin coming to you as usual from Chicago, and today we're going to look at Better Call Saul, Season 1, Episode 8. And the episode is called Rico. Welcome to Law Talk. This episode kicks off with a fun little flashback which explains how Jimmy McGill actually became an attorney.
What's this? Is this a joke?
No, no joke.
You passed the bar?
Yeah. Grad from a community college, and they're not just for draft dodgers and yoga classes, all right?
All right, the favorite line of the episode comes early in this one. I like the one we just heard, but for some reason, this gets me.
And I found a law school that would accept me. I mean, it wasn't Georgetown or anything, but the University of American Samoa.
Oh, correspondence school.
Well, I wasn't going to quit work, right? Date nights, weekends, and, they call it distance learning nowadays. They're accredited. Go land crabs.
Brilliant. The University of American Samoa. Go land crabs. I don't know if this place exists. If it does, I don't know if that's their mascot. I don't care. It's too good to look up. I don't think you can go to law school as a correspondence course either, but maybe you can. I don't know. Like I said, it's too rich. I don't even want to know. When we get back to the actual timeline of the series, Jimmy's actually doing a will for one of his clients, of course, that he gets from a nursing home through his bingo activities or what have you. And he stumbles across a much, much bigger deal.
Oh, no, it's my money. I just get it from Sandpiper Crossing. $500 a month.
I don't understand. You should have Social Security checks plus that pension we talked about. So how are you on an allowance?
Well, the checks go to Sandpiper. And then they take out my fees and my expenses.
So Jimmy stumbles across a whole bunch of basically fraud being committed by Sandpiper Crossings, which is a long-term care facility, and they're sort of taking advantage of seniors, overcharging for them for things. And this is entirely plausible. This finally gets into an area of law that I have some familiarity with. I haven't done that particular type of claim, but I've had lots of nursing home cases, and a lot of them are sleazy. They all aren't sleazy, but a lot of them do things like this. This case, from a real world perspective, is very believable from a guy who's been practicing over 20 years. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it. The facility gets wise to Jimmy's investigation of them and won't let him in. So he gets desperate. In order to try to get the information he needs, he goes dumpster diving in this clip. And while he does that, he gets a call from opposing counsel discussing his demand letter, which he had written on toilet paper. It's all good.
James McGill.
Mr. McGill, Rich Schweikert of Schweikert and Coakley.
We're the law firm representing Sandpiper Crossing Assisted Living. How are you this evening?
Quite well, thank you. How are you?
Doing fine.
Sorry to call so late. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No.
Here Jimmy is forced to actually sort of verbalize his complaints via whisper because he's in a dumpster and doesn't want to be discovered in his first phone conversation with opposing counsel.
Your clients are facing multiple counts of elder abuse and fraud and deceptive and unfair trade practices, and that's just a start, okay? I'm not a betting man, but I bet the farm I'll find more.
Mr. McGill, are you related to Charles McGill?
This next bit is right on the money. It reminds me of real practice. I mean, aside from being in a dumpster, of course, during the conversation. But after the defense attorney, who is perfectly played, hears the allegations, he comes back with his opening position, which is basically threatening Rule 11 sanctions. This is common sort of stuff. Rule 11 is a federal court rule for sanctions for filing, pleadings that have no merit. basically. They're never granted. It's never going to go anywhere. But he first establishes, hey, I know your brother. The implication being that your brother's legitimate and you're nobody. And then he tries to shake Jimmy, but Jimmy's not having any of it because he's an old con man.
Frankly, the only reason that I made this phone call was out of respect for Charles, on the off chance that you might be related to him. My partner suggested that the best response would be to send a Rule 11 letter and have you sanctioned, but I didn't want to jump to that immediately.
Hey, how about you stop trying to rattle my cage and just, respond to the merits?
So Jimmy actually does discover information during his dumpster dive, and they literally piece it together. It's shredded documents, and with the help of his brother, who gets sort of inspired by this whole project, they piece together some information, and they kind of get the defense back on their heels a little bit. They set up a meeting, and they come and make an initial offer.
So here's what we're prepared to do. We're going to make your clients whole. A check for the 46 and change right now. And on top of that, we'll give you another $46K to cover your expenses. So what's that, 92? Let's call it $100,000 even.
Jimmy's response to that offer is, our case is a little better than you think. The Rico statute is implicated, and therefore there's treble damages. I don't really deal with that on a regular basis. I assume that is correct. So he sort of says, I'm not impressed with your $100,000 offer. Finally, Chuck weighs in his thoughts. He'd sat quietly. He's still having problems with the electricity and is not quite himself, and he'd sat through the entire meeting. But he finally opens his mouth, and when he does, it makes a big impression.
Well, what number exactly did you have in mind?
20 million.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Oh, you can't expect...
$20 million. Or we'll see you in court.
The big takeaway for this episode is that Jimmy actually ends up working on a case with his brother, and although it's strained, they actually seem to get a little closer. He also begins to see some real results from all of his efforts with the elder law and everything else by stumbling upon a case which has a lot more potential in it. Here at Law Talk, we do a lot of videos answering common legal questions. We also do reviews of law in the movies and then on TV. We also share some of our more interesting cases. We're always putting out new videos. So if you like that, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell.